Sorry, Prabhu, my voice is clear, right?
Yeah, it's clear.
Thank you. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivari Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivari Hari Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjan Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjan Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Radha Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladev Jaya Subhadra Jaya Gaurani Sai Jaya Gaurani Sai Gaurani Sai Jaya Gaurani Sai Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jai Jai Shri Shri Radha Gadani Ki Jai 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 Jagannath Baladev Subramai Ki Jai Gaur Nitai Ki Jai Shri Prabhupada Shri Gurudev Ki Jai Nitai Go Premanandi Hari Bol All glories to assembled devotees Hare Krishna All glories to assembled devotees Hare Krishna All glories to assembled devotees Hare Krishna All glories to the lotus feet of Shri Shri Guru and Shri Shri Gauranga All glories to Srila Prabhupada All glories to Srila Gurudev Ki Jai Namo Vishwanaaya Krishna 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 Namo Vishwadaya Krishna Prasad Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namade Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prasad Devi Shri Sunyavadi Paschat Deshatari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Okay, I will. So Prabhupada Lilamrita, as the servant pushed the baby carriage into the wide expanse of Harrison Road.
Hare
Timing
Krishna,
is
Prabhu. Please, can you
just a
share the
moment.
screen?
Oh yes,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Prabhu.
Sorry.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, it's visible now.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. So we can
Okay, so
read
Mataji.
together.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So as the servant pushed the baby carriage into the wide expanse of Harrison Road, timing his crossing between the bicycles and horse-drawn hackneys, the two children in the pram gazed up at the fair sky and tall trees around the road. Sounds and sights of the hackneys, with their large wheels spinning over the road, caught the fascinated attention of the two children. The servant steered the carriage towards the arched gateway within the red sandstone wall bordering the Radha Govind Mandir. And as Abhay and his friend rode underneath the ornate metal arch and into the courtyard, they saw him above them two stone lions, the herald and protectors of the temple compound, their right paws extended. In the courtyard was a circular drive, and on the oval lawn were lampposts with gaslights and a statue of a young woman in robes. Sharply chirping sparrows flitted in the shrubs and trees or hopped across the grass, pausing to peck the ground, while choruses of pigeons cooed, sometimes abruptly flapping their wings overhead, sailing off to another perch or descending to the courtyard. Voices chattered at Bengalis, moved to and fro, dressed in simple cotton saris and white dhotis. Someone paused by the carriage to amuse the golden-skinned boys with their shining dark eyes, but mostly people were passing by, quickly going into the temple. The heavy double doors leading into the inner courtyard were open, and the servant eased the carriage wheels down a foot-deep step and proceeded to the foyer, then down another step and into the bright sunlight of the main courtyard. There they faced the stone statue of Garuda, perched on a 4-foot column. This carrier of Vishnu, Garuda, half man and half bird, kneeled on one knee, his hands folded prayerfully, his eagle's beak strong, and his wings poised behind him. The carriage moved ahead, past two servants, sweeping and washing the stone courtyard. It was just a few paces across the courtyard to the temple. The temple area itself opened like a pavilion with a raised platform with a stone roof supported by stout pillars 15 feet tall. At the left end of the temple pavilion stood a crowd of worshippers, viewing the deities on the altar. The servant pushed the carriage closer, lifted the two boys out, and then, holding their hands, escorted them reverentially before the deities. Srila Prabhupada. I can remember standing at the doorway of Radha Govinda temple, saying prayers to Radha Govinda Murti. I would watch for hours together. The deity was so beautiful with his slanted eyes. Radha and Govinda, freshly bathed and dressed, now stood on their silver throne amidst vases of fragrant flowers. Govinda was about 18 inches high, and Radharani, standing to his left, was slightly smaller. Both were golden. Radha and Govinda both stood in the same gracefully curved dancing pose, right leg bent at the knee and right foot placed in front of the left. Radharani, dressed in a lustrous silk sari, held up her reddish right palm in benediction, and Krishna, in his silk jacket and dhoti, placed on a golden played on a golden flute. At Govinda's lotus feet were green tulsi leaves with pulp of sandalwood, hanging around their lordships' necks and reaching down almost to their lotus feet, were several garlands of fragrant night blooming jasmine, delicate, trumpet-like blossoms resting lightly on Radha and Govinda's divine forms. Their necklace of gold, pearls, and diamond shimmered. Radharani's bracelet were of gold, and both she and Krishna wore gold embroidered silk chadaras about their shoulders. The flowers in their hands and hair were small and delicate, and the silver crowns on their heads were bedecked with jewels. Radha and Krishna were slightly smiling, beautifully dressed, dancing on their silver throne beneath a silver canopy and surrounded by flowers. To Abhay they appeared most attractive. Life outside on Harrison Road and beyond was forgotten. In the courtyard, the birds went on chirping, and visitors came and went. But Abhay stood silently, absorbed in seeing the beautiful forms of Krishna and Radharani, the Supreme Lord and his eternal consort. Then the Kirtana began, devotees chanting and playing on drums and kartalas. Abhay and his friend kept watching as the pujaris offered incense, its curling smoke hanging in the air, then a flaming lamp, a conch shell, a handkerchief, flowers, a whisk, and a peacock fan. Finally, the pujari below the conch shell loudly. Finally, the pujari blew the conch shell loudly, and the aarti ceremony was over. Prabhuji, please let me know if I need to stop here and continue.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Someone will continue section for tomorrow.
Okay.
Well, yeah, every day just one section. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Prabhupada Limit ki jai. I will just bring up the today's verse. Share my screen again. Okay. Sorry. Just to confirm, everyone can see my screen.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mataji Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayato Dhiraye Nastaprayesu Bhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki. So today's verse is from Canto 4, Chapter 16, Text 12 and 13. The first, I'll just read we just go to the text 12 and then we will have a look at the text 13 also. Antarbahishya bhutanam pashyan karmani charanaha udasino evadyaksho vayur atmeva dehinam. Antarbahishya bhutanam pashyan karmani charanaha udasina iva daksho vayur atmeva dehinam. I would request if someone would like to read.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat
Hare Krishna
Pranam.
Prabhuji, Dandavat
Welcome.
Pranam.
Antarbahishya bhutanam pashyan karmani charanoi udashina iva daksho vayuratma iva dehinam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Antarbahishya bhutanam पश्यन् कर्माणि चारणैः उदासीनो इवाध्यक्षो वायुरात्मेव देहिनाम्. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. And we will just read the translation and then go to the or we will just read the next text and then do the translation of both of them together. Nadandyam dandadete sa sutam atma dvisham api dandayati atmajam api dandyam dharma pathe sitaha. Nadandyam dandayati esha sutam atma dvisham api dandayati atmajam api dandyam dharma pathe sitaha. If anyone would like to read this text too, please.
Can I try, Prabhu, please?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Na dandayam dandayati esha sutam atma disham api dandayati atmajam api dandayam dharma pathe sthitaha. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
न
Prabhu.
दण्डयं दण्डयति एष श्रुतमात्मदिशम् अपि दण्डयति आत्मजम् अपि दण्डयं धर्मपते स्थिता.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. We'll just go to the previous text and read its translation. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
King Prithu will be able to see all internal and external activities of everyone of his citizens. Still, no one will be able to know his system of espionage, and he himself will remain neutral regarding all matters of glorification or vilification paid to him. He will be exactly like air, the life force within the body, which is exhibited internally and externally, but is always neutral to all affairs. Text 13. Since this king will always remain on the path of piety, he will be neutral to both his son and the son of his enemy. If the son of his enemy is not punishable, he will not punish him. But if his own son is punishable, he will immediately punish him. Okay. Text 13 is a small purport, so we'll just read the purport too. If anyone would like to read the purport, please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Part put by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
These are the characteristics of an impartial ruler. It is the duty of a ruler to punish the criminal and give protection to the innocent. King Prithu was so neutral that if his own son were punishable, he would not hesitate to punish him. On the other hand, if the son of his enemy were innocent, he would not engage in some intrigue in order to punish him. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So going back to the text 12, before that, we will just do the invocation. Om Agyan Timirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshurunmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Madhubhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamai Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Shri Guru Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vidam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagate Gopasha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radha Vindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Panchakalpa Tarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Antarbahishya Bhutanam Pashyan Karmani Charanaha Udasina eva yaksho vayur atmeva dehina. Before we start with the two texts, I will just do a small recap, quick recap. So, chapter 16 has been titled as the title of the chapter is Praise of King Prithu by the Professional Reciters. It starts with great sage Maitreya glorifying King Prithu. How do we glorify someone? How do we glorify someone? Anyone?
Describing the good qualities, Prabhu?
Good qualities? Yes, Prabhu, definitely good qualities. And the sage Maitreya started by speaking the good qualities of King Prithu, which were yet to be executed. Within text 2, Srila Prabhupada says that how King Prithu is the direct incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he is the Satyavesha avatar, a directly empowered avatar by Lord himself. And so King Prithu was empowered with the quality which we can see in Krishna, but not in the same quantity, but with the quality. And sages were glorified. Sages were glorifying King Prithu with the ruling potency of Lord Krishna. It starts with how King Prithu was humble, and then how he was independent, how he was the protector of religious principles, and then being a great maintainer with all the power he had, he was still tolerant and virtuous. Same time, he was affectionate. And yesterday, as we got to know, how he was full strength. In this text, Srila Prabhupada explains within the translation the quality of King Prithu being omnipresent by the system of espionage. He knew all the internal and external activities of his citizens. Internally, he knew everyone, but externally, he knew all of their activities, good or bad. And still, he remained neutral to any form of glorification and vilification that they had towards him. And the example that Prabhupada gives us is of air. Air is neutral. It does not differentiate between the type of person you are. Air does the same job, but as a life force, it does the same job for every living entity. It does not differentiate someone based on their karma or activity. This quality of omnipresence, as we can see in Ishopanishad, text 5, it says, Tad dure tadva antika. Lord is far away, but he's still very near by his inconceivable potency. Same way, King Prithu, being bestowed with this potence, with this quality of omnipresence, he knew everything. And this system of espionage, as mentioned within the translation, is used by kings as showed by King Prithu and also in olden times. What is the system of espionage? If we focus on this specific system, it is a process of obtaining information by means of spies and secret agents. In olden times, kings used to evaluate the state of all living entities within the kingdom. But why? Why this system of espionage? If we look at the duty of a king, in the offering mantra, as we read always, Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So Krishna says that the duty of every living entity is to protect, or especially the king, Kshatriya, is to protect Brahmana and cow. Why Brahmana? Because Brahmanas they are the symbol of spiritual education. They are highly educated in Vedic literature, and they provide the value of life to the society. And cow being the symbol of most valuable food. So following this, using the system of espionage, King Prithu, or the kings, used to protect the citizens, protect their rights, basically in a three-step process. So if we put this in three steps process, PCS, P is to protect the value of citizens. How? By C, which is cultivating Brahmanical culture, to provide them that value of life. And as a result, when with that spiritual knowledge, with the spiritual civilization, which is the value of life, it leads to S, which is serving everyone by providing enough resources and knowledge required for them to become God consciousness. Now, through this system of espionage, the kings were able to show or display all the qualities of being omnipresent, of being neutral, and doing the right thing for their citizens. Whereas in Lord Krishna's pastimes, we see that how he showed us all three qualities too, not only for devotees but for demons also. Lord Krishna being omnipresent in our heart, and also out externally as Archavigraha. He displayed his mercy on even the demons. For example, Putna. Krishna knew the intention of Putna was to kill him, but still he drank the poison milk and delivered her. So Krishna was neutral to Putna. At the same time, he gave her the high status of a mother because if he didn't do that, then in present or in future, the position of mother would be questioned. So he maintained the righteousness. Another example, if we look for the neutral and righteousness, is where Yudhishthira Maharaj, when he was in exile, or the Pandavas were in exile, and the pastime goes that they were thirsty. So Yudhishthira Maharaj asked his brother, the four brothers, to go get some water. And in search of water, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadev, they reach one by one. They reach this Dharma Kund, or this Kund, where first Bhima arrives, and then while looking for that Kund, they get too thirsty. So they want to drink. They try to drink the water, but a warning that a warning from the Kun says that if you want to drink water, you have to answer my questions. But they were so thirsty that they ignored that warning and still drink the water. As a result, Bhima first dies. And then one by one, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadev ends up with the same fate. After waiting for a long period of time, Yudhishthira Maharaj starts looking for his brothers. So he goes out to the Kund and he sees that his brothers were dead. Now the same message or the same warning that he hears from the Kund, who explains to Yudhishthira Maharaj that what has happened. But the entity, or which is Dharmaraj, which is Yamaraj himself, tells to Yudhishthira that if you answer my questions, then I will bring back one of your brothers. Yudhishthira Maharaj answers those questions one by one. And at the end, Dharmaraj was being happy with all of his answers. He gives him the benedictions that, okay, you can bring back one of your brothers. On being asked, Yudhishthira Maharaj says that I want Nakula to be revived. Yeah, Dharmaraj asked that question, or the Yamaraj asked that question. Why Nakula? So Yudhishthira Maharaj explains that I am the son of Kunti, and Nakula and Yudhishthira being son of Kunti, along with Arjuna and Bhima, and his other mother, Madari, whose son is Nakula and Sahadev. So if he brings Nakula back, then at least both of the mothers will be happy. Instead of being neutral to or showing any form of favorism to Arjuna or Bhima, he says, I want Nakula back, so that he does the right thing. And when the Dharmakund or Yamaraj himself sees the righteous quality of Yudhishthira, he brings back all of his brothers one by one. This quality of, or this system of espionage was being followed by all the kings in olden times. Even in modern or in currently present, the same system of espionage is being used by governments or politicians, but not to deliver the same purpose. As in text 13, Prabhupada explains that how King Prithu was neutral, not just to his own son, but also to his enemy's son. There was no feeling of partiality. He would punish his own son if he would have done the wrong thing. But if his enemy's son, if they haven't done anything wrong, he wouldn't try to cultivate a plot, a plan to somehow cause harm or even to destroy the lineage of the enemy's kingdom. But in today's modern society, so-called politicians and governmental body uses this system of espionage to manipulate and to exploit people for their own self-centered motives. The same three-step process, PCS. P. They use the P instead of protecting the citizens, they use it to pollute their mind with illusionary expectations, with flowery words. They go out asking for their support. They make promises which they never deliver. And once people end up believing in their promises, they end up doing the next step, C, cheating. They cheat by misusing the knowledge or the promises that they have made, the trust that they have gained, just to make wealth, which leads to S, for their own sense gratification, and not to serve the people. This way, the same system of espionage used by kings in olden times, or as mentioned by Prabhupada, to cultivate a civilization based on spiritual realization, so that people will become more God consciousness. Current society, current system, a current government, a current politicians use that same system to spread material consciousness and miseries. Now, in Bhagavad Gita, Lord says, chapter 4, text 8, Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya duskritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Lord says that I myself, to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, I myself appear millennium after millennium. And within the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that Lord descends as himself or sends his Shaktavesha avatar, which we can see in Prithu. And in Kali Yuga, Lord descended again as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, with whose mercy we were able to have Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada, who is this Kali Yuga's Shaktavesha avatar. Srila Prabhupada gave us the same divine system of espionage in the three-step process. To do what? He gave us the P, preaching of glories of Lord through his books, through the Vedic knowledge. And C, chanting of Harinam, Sankirtan. And S, he gave us 108 temples, which, and more than that, today is 200 plus. To do what? To serve the Lord who is present as Archa Vigraha, to serve our spiritual masters, to serve devotees. And all this, through this, Srila Prabhupada made everyone who came in sincerely Krishna consciousness. But as we read that through this system of espionage, King Prithu used to send some form of secret agents or spies among citizens who dressed and acted just like one of them. Who did Srila Prabhupada sent out? Who did Srila Prabhupada sent out to collect all this information? Any guess? Did he send out secret agents? Did he send out spies?
His disciples, Prabhu?
His disciples? Okay. Srila Prabhupada, yes, he did. He did, Prabhuji, you're right. But Srila Prabhupada went few steps ahead. He sent out JBS, Lord Jagannath, Lord Baldev, and Subhadrama. So every year we have Rath Yatra, and currently we are still having our Rath Yatra going. And Lord Jagannath, Baldev, and Subhadrama out there with big eyes can see all the internal, can see everyone along with the external activities or karmas. Still, with big smile, they are neutral to all type of people, all living entities. And with open arms, they are giving them mercy of their darshan, Krishna prema, and purifying. And this does not happens every year or every month. It's happening every day. While our journey in India, we were fortunate that we went to the Bhaktivedanta Hospital in Mira Road in Mumbai, and we had the darshan of the Rath where Lord Jagannath, Baldev, and Subhadrama every day goes to every single room where the patients have arrived to get healed of their disease or problems. And this is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada through ISKCON to us. So, with this, to summarize, the three qualities that we can see as the stage glorified within King Prithu of omnipresent, neutrality, and righteousness was for people to become spiritually realized and more God consciousness. And the same system, the three-step process of PCS, has been provided by Srila Prabhupada to us also, which is to preach, chant, and serve. And it is our duty to take on to this responsibility and spread the glories of the Lord. With this, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Thank you, Prabhu. If there's any question or comments,
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna
Welcome
Prabhuji,
back.
Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Prabhuji.
It's a very nice class. Yeah, you have highlighted this PCS. It's very, 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 prominent and accurate. With the subject matter tells about 12 and 13 texts. It is really how you explain right from the Prithu Maharaj time, modern time, and what Srila Prabhupada gave us. It's wonderful explanation.
Thank you,
And with
Prabhuji.
the example of Yudhishthir, how Yudhishthir was neutral and how he's often administered the whole kingdom with the neutrality. And that also you pointed out very nicely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the nice class, Prabhu.
Thank you,
Very
Prabhuji.
enlightening class. And especially I liked your, normally everybody thinks of negative. When you think of espionage, they think of negative connotations, how
Yes,
we can
Prabhu.
cause harm to others. But you very nicely, you explained how the devotees and the great kings, they used it for a positive purpose, not for negative purpose, for a positive purpose. That is very nice. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Very nice class, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for enlightening us.
Thank you,
nice.
Prabhuji.
Very, very nice.
Okay. If there's no further question, I will request Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Prabhu. Yeah, if no other questions, yeah, we can end the session here.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare
Srila
Krishna.
Gurudev ki jai. Panchakalpatarubhyasya
Tarubhyascha
Krishna
kripasindhuveva
Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo Namah.
Anantapati Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai,
Jai.
His Grace Sumati Nitai Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Very, very nice class, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
everyone.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.